We're 1 year old.
We're 1 year old.
Yay!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Infinite Loop Show, episode number 49. I am Michael. I am 1 year old Gaines.
And I am Kacey, also 1 year old. Strange. Conklin.
We're talking about the fact that we're 1 year old because this is the anniversary show. We, as of actually Monday was the official 1 year anniversary. We were doing this show for 1 year.
That's a long time.
It is a long time
For a show no one's heard of.
It's a long time for you to be working with me, but that's okay.
Oh, what do I have to look forward to? What are you trying to tell me?
Oh, what? Me and my butt clips are happy.
More belt clips and more laser discs, more physical media.
You know what? Go ahead, make fun of me. And my Newton, and my Mac Cube. All my ancient technology.
Awesome.
But no, we've been doing this show for a year, and it's been a lot of fun. And according to our numbers here, we've only missed 3 episodes because this should be episode 52.
Indeed. It feels like we've missed more. Well, I've missed more. I know that.
You were busy with work and school, and so Langley filled in 2 weeks, 2 episodes. So you missed 3.
I guess we've only missed
3 in a year. That's pretty damn good, I must say.
Look at how efficient we are.
I was trying to find this last night, and I guess it was just never saved, but I was trying to find the chat log of how this show came to be. And it was me. I sent you a message on GChat, and I said something to the effect of, I've had this idea of doing an Apple podcast, and you wrote in all caps, yes, and like 9 exclamation points.
Did I? I thought you asked me in a hangout, so then there really wouldn't be a log of it.
No.
I could have sworn like it started in a hangout.
No, it was
or we just, I guess, got the details together in a hangout.
Or maybe excuse me, you know what it might have been? It might have been it might have been a Google G+ private message, so maybe it still does exist somewhere.
Ooh, private message.
Oh, yes. I'll do nothing but talk about my belt clips and my laser discs all day long.
Do I know?
My belt clip brings the women's to the party. Not.
Or not.
No, it doesn't bring anybody to the party.
Brings other belt clip wearing guys to the
party. No, let's not even go there.
Okay.
But I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it. I kind of feel bad about that because I thought it would be funny to bring it up. If it is, I deleted them all. I deleted all my Google Plus stuff. Oh well.
Oh darn, you're so secure.
Well, it was taking up a lot of space.
No, it's better for security, I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't keep big, long logs of all of my conversations, just like I don't keep jars of my own urine in the closet. I mean, that's just something I don't do,
No, I did it because I got tired of watching the numbers bump up, and I was like, I'm just getting rid of this. And my space on Google, on Gmail is 10% or 9%. It's like a little over 9%. I'm like, nah. I just want to knock all this stuff down. So I might have accidentally deleted it. I'm sorry. But
well, I'm clearly not torn up about it.
You may still have. Oh, no. If you deleted them, you don't have it either.
I don't think I do. I have champagne, though, for 1 year.
I have chocolate stout. Cheers. Happy anniversary.
Cheers. Gross.
Is it bad?
It's $2 chuck, and on a champagne it shows more, I think, than in like a wine. All
right. Well, let's get. We actually have to get to the news because there's a lot of news today. All right, let's go. A big heavy sigh. This is Apple's fault, though.
It's the EU's fault.
The the EU has these these new product certifications, and because the Mac Pro does not fit them, Apple is going to stop selling the Mac Pro in Europe as of March 1st. Now, the reason why I said this is Apple's fault is because they knew that this was coming.
They probably did.
And so Tim Cook says that a new Mac Pro is coming at the end of 2013. So I'm apprehensive about this. Is the best way I can say it. Is that I'm upset about it, not like really upset, but I'm hoping that this doesn't make people think that the Mac Pro is dead.
See, yeah, exactly. And at the first look this morning of this news announcement, that's the first thing I thought. That's probably the first thing that went through your mind. And I'm sure that's going to be the first thing. People are just going to see that headline, think that, probably not read the whole article or read other articles. So I read a few articles on this since this morning. And it sounds like, it's may or may not. I mean, whoever's fault it is, the EU is setting these standards and Apple's too slow to update to them. Maybe they thought that their updated Mac Pro would be in time for this and it wasn't going to be any big deal. And maybe just recently it was pushed back and that's it. But apparently it's not that they're discontinuing the Mac Pro entirely in the EU. It's that they have to stop. They can't ship any more and they can't sell any new ones there. They can still sell through any Mac Pros that are there already in the EU that are just sitting in stores. They can still sell through those. So it's not entirely gone. It's not like Apple just is going to magically not have any more.
Yeah.
But then, and again, that also doesn't mean that it's discontinued or that there isn't going to be an update happening entirely from Apple.
Right.
It's just this one isolated incident in Europe that because of their standards, they can't sell anymore. And so, and like we know, Tim Cook, said that there would be an update in 2013. We don't know exactly when that's going to be, but whenever that comes out, then they can probably pick up and continue selling again in the EU as well.
Sure. So I like I said, I'm just worried that the perception is people are going to be looking at headlines because you know how the internet is.
No, yeah, they only read the headline and nothing more and then go off on a wild tangent.
And they get all scared and then people say Apple sucks and then 9 months from now we could have a brand new Mac Pro, which is awesome.
I hope that's the case. Not because I want to buy one, but because I still want it to be a thing. Because the Xserve isn't a thing anymore, so Mac Pro still needs to be a thing.
Like I said, I mean, I've had this iMac for a while. I really love it, but I just keep thinking, how much better would this be without all these wires all over the place with everything that I have to attach to it to make it feel like a Mac Pro?
Well, you would definitely have more wires even with a Mac Pro for the display and more attachments and everything else.
Well, I would have less for the external hard drive. Yeah, you may be right.
Okay, that's one less.
Two 6-foot Thunderbolt cables because I've got 2 Thunderbolt attachments.
Well, then you would still have one going to the display.
Okay, we're nitpicking here. New 128 gigabyte iPad 4 will be available as of February 5th for $800 for Wi-Fi only. Oh. What do you think of this?
I think it's about time that they surpass the 64 gigabyte kind of artificial barrier. And I feel like it's been artificial. Like, memory has gotten bigger and cheaper. Yeah. We can upgrade the iPhone, the iPod Touch, and the iPad beyond 64 gigabytes. Really, come on. And even the iPod Classic now beyond, 160, 180?
Yeah.
All of those boats can rise. And it seems like it's been at that barrier for an artificially long time. So this might kind of mean that the iPhone might be gaining a little bit of weight in the hardware in June, nice. But I think this is good for those that need it. I mean, I don't need that. I've always been fine with the 16, right. But I'm glad that it's available.
I don't need it either. Now, I have read across the internet why people think that this is a good idea. There are people now. Myself, what I do is I have movies on my iPhone because I go to the gym and I like to watch stuff, and you go on trips and things. It's nice to have them. Do I watch them all the time? No. But there are some people that like to use these devices as media centers, and so what they do is they load them up with HD 1080p stuff, and after a while it gets to eat up your memory. Even someone like me that puts a lot of this stuff on their devices, I still don't even need this. So these people that need, I think it's a niche. Is it niche or niche? I don't know. But it's a niche of a niche. I think that the number of people that need, with a capital N, 128 gigabytes of RAM on an iPad are so small right now that it may not be a big deal. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure those people that need it are happy. So good. Good on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we going to get Blu-ray or not?
Honestly, I think Apple's kind of done with physical media.
Maybe. There's an article. It's on Apple Insider. It says, Apple set to ship Macs with Blu-ray support. This is the whole bag of hurt that Steve was talking about a few years ago about the consortium.
Yeah,
all that.
That is a licensing headache.
Yeah. Now, this article on Apple Insider, this was from, wait a minute, this is from 5 years ago?
What?
Okay.
You are not a journalist at all.
No, I didn't look at the date. Oh, derp. This is not the first time that this has happened on a website lately, is that
Boo.
My Google Reader feed pulls in stuff from
it's the reader's fault.
No, it's my fault for not checking the date. Wow. Okay. We're just going to take that. Put a big
so in other news, I heard a rumor that the new iPhone 5S might come in colors.
No, you talk about that while I just sit here and be embarrassed.
Okay, so the same effect like the iPod Touch came out late last year in 4 different colors. I believe white, the white and black, and then the blue and the yellow. Mm-hmm. The whole back and all the anodized metal and aluminum was a color, a solid color. So there's this rumor, and it's been, I think it's been through 3 sources now, says that the iPhone 5S, reportedly possibly coming out this June instead of October, would be also coming out in different colors like the iPod Touch. Cool. Which is exactly what a lot of people were saying the minute the iPod Touch came out in colors. Like, why can't they do this with the iPhone 5? Look at, what is it, the H8 or the HTC Windows Phone 8. You know, that it comes in a bunch of different colors, or the Lumia 900 or 980. You know, they all come in different colors. It's not just white or black, which are nice and slick and very modern. Mm-hmm. But you know, you hate putting a case on that and covering that up. And so...
Yeah. That's true. I'm happy with the black one. I don't need another color. Maybe my kids would. By the way, Google Reader still shows that article from January 28th, listed as January 28th, 2013, even though you click on it and it says January 8th, January 3rd, 2008.
Actually, both can be true. I ran into this at work just recently with our RSS newsfeed. Mm-hmm. Google Reader does not, you can't delete. So if you accidentally post something to your feed, it is burned into your feed.
Yeah.
And if you take it out of the XML and then repost a new XML, it'll just have new posts on top of that old mistaken one.
I noticed that.
So it might be that like somebody on their end accidentally posted an old post and they can't get rid of it because Google, if you're listening, your reader is completely broken. And if you go into the forums and discussion groups on it, it's insane.
Yeah. I apologize for that.
Anyways,
I should have.
Crazy tangent.
Yeah, I know. So, you posted this next one. I took a look at this. Pictures of the iPad 5. Now, it doesn't really look that much different than the current iPad.
Well, it's kind of got that squished feel where the new iPad it tapers more, but like the iPad mini, you have like the rounded corners, but the entire back is very flat.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is just very squished, kind of flat feeling, and the entire back is that anodized metal, so the entire back would be black. If you got the back, if you got the black one, it would be all black, or if you've got the white one, it would be silver on the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it literally just looks like a bigger iPad mini. But then the other thing struck me too is it looks skinnier too, like almost a more 16:9 ratio kind of.
It does.
Tank.
There's a comparison between the current iPad and this apparent new one. This is on Mac Rumors, and yeah, it does show that it's wider than it is taller. Compared to the current one.
The current one is wider.
Well, the current one is taller. Wait, yeah, the current one is taller. There's more of a gap on the side than there is on the top. So it's more wide than it is tall.
Yes.
So what this means, I don't know. We report about this all the time. Is that today we don't know. 3 weeks from
They're
now,
out there. There's pictures. There's out there, and go look at them.
Go look at them. But it's interesting that I like the fact that they have the same back as my iPhone, because as much as I love my my iPad, it does feel a little slippery on the back, and I would rather have this kind of back on the iPhone. That's on the iPhone 5.
Yeah, as much as it chips or whatever.
Mine doesn't. Well, the sides do. I have some chips along like the top and the side here, but not on the back.
Where the metal is. There's been
not on the back.
That's reported chipping on the paint.
And then there are pictures of the apparent iPhone 5 and iPhone 6.
What?
Of the component, I should say the components, parts, not the actual iPhone. Again, this is just. Look, it's a part.
Okay, so the only reason I posted this, because they're just parts and they're tiny parts and they don't tell anything about the actual thing. But they're listing iPhone 5S and 6 side by side for possible dual launch in June. Is this going to be like a iPad mini alongside an iPad 3 6 months later kind of deal again?
Okay, so I was thinking about this. There are pictures. Did I post them? There are apparent pictures. Maybe I didn't post them. Did you see the pictures of the apparent the iPhone 5S? Mm-mm. It seems to me that what they're going to do is they're going to have the iPhone 5S. And then there's going to be
in June, and then in October have a 6.
In October
just
have
like
a 6.
The freaking iPad.
I have to.
If they do that twice in a row with 2 different product categories, people are really going to lose their crap. People are already losing their crap, and
the new iPhone,
the
or
Apple
iPad 4.
bandwagon after supposed years of loyalty.
Well, see, I look at it differently because I have been following Apple for a long time, and you get this rhythm for the product updates. You think,
exactly. So, every year we get a 5 or a 2 and then a 2S, a 3 and a 3S, a 4 and a 4S, kind of thing. And it's on exactly a year later, not 6 months, not 10 months. And we don't get 2 iterations in the same year.
No. But what I'm saying is I wouldn't be suckered into buying a 5S.
No, especially not if I knew the 6 was a couple of months later. The iPad 4 was a total shock because they had put people in that rhythm where, it's on a yearly cycle. Mm-hmm. Okay, the 3 was just announced. I'm going to buy it because the 4 isn't coming out for another year. Mm-hmm. Not less than 6 months later.
Yeah. iOS 6.1 is out. Did you update?
I did. I updated yesterday.
And what do you think of it? It's awesome.
I haven't noticed any changes whatsoever in anything.
I found that the music playback is different. It's slightly different. It's got a slightly different UI to it. What?
You would notice that.
I do notice. Okay, I'm gonna put the horse head on.
That's your thing. That's it. Put it on. Put it on, dude.
No, I'm not
do
gonna
the
put
show
it
in
on.
that.
No.
Okay.
Maybe later. Yes, it is my thing is that I notice things. And so the first day that I updated to iOS 6.1, I just went through everything. I went, well, this mostly looks the same. And if you look at the back, if you look at the back end,
if you look at the back of
look at the back of the iPhone. No. There are a lot of back end things like more LTE support for carriers and things like that. If there are any cosmetic changes, I did not immediately notice them, so I was not aware of any significant changes. Though past what?
I don't think there's anything cosmetic or relatively significant. It's a 0.1 update, really.
It is. There's some iTunes Match updates and there's some Siri updates, but again, nothing serious. You can purchase movie tickets through Fandango, which is nice.
What?
Why you didn't know? Oh God!
I will purchase them now.
For a second there, I thought, wait, you didn't know that, or are you just pulling my chain? Yeah, and
likely.
There's iTunes Match updates, so very cool. I don't usually update for .0 releases. Yeah. Like I didn't update for iOS 6.01. But I generally do for the .1s. And I haven't found any differences in the battery life at all. That was one of the questions that somebody sent me on Twitter was, how's the battery life? I'm like, I don't know. I just installed it 5 minutes ago.
But they were also asking about the 4/4S, and I think we both have 5, so...
Yeah.
I don't know.
My kids have...
Maybe it's drastically different. I don't know.
My kids have a 4S, and they haven't complained at all.
Go wake them up and update their phones.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's move on to rapid fire. I saw this today, and I was very happy about it. I was actually looking for this the other day on my Apple TV. HBO is going to allow you to stream their content like you can on HBO Go to the Apple TV.
Finally,
I why would I not be happy that I just blew all this money on Game of Thrones on Blu-ray?
I can return that stupid Roku box I just bought. Yay!
Well, there's that. No, I'm a big Blu-ray person because I think that streaming just doesn't cut it. But if this works and it's supposed to do the 1080p that's supposedly promised, then it would be very nice.
Well, the Apple TV does 1080p. I don't see why this wouldn't. Like one app on the Apple TV cuts it down.
It's the streaming service. Like Netflix doesn't put out their stuff in 1080p,
really?
Even though, like the later Doctor Who episodes, they're in 1080p.
I had no idea.
Yeah, they're in 1080p on Blu-ray, but they're not 1080 on Netflix streaming.
Oh, that's poop.
Yeah, it's poop.
It's a bunch of poo.
Yeah, I played them both side by side. It looks like they're doing like a 720 thing. It's HD, but it's not.
Yeah, it's barely.
Here's another thing: is that the streaming that you get from Netflix is not 5.1 for Doctor Who and Star Trek Enterprise. It's in DTS 5.1 on Blu-ray, and it's stereo only. I don't know why, but
they
iTunes
won't give you your 5.1. The world is coming to an end.
Hold on a second.
I will not get off your lawn, sir.
For those of you that can't see, I'm wearing the horse head.
Well, us Game of Thrones fans can only hope that first half of 2013 is actually before March 31st.
March 31st. That's your big calendar day, isn't it?
Well, all of March is gigantic, but yeah. More importantly,
Max Sources in the chat room says that his App Store loads faster now that he's done the 6.1 update. So there you go. I haven't noticed.
Awesome. I need to do that then.
Office 2013. What's up?
Oh, wait, before that, just a quick note. There was, I'm guessing alongside the iOS 6.1 update, there was just an update released for Apple TV that allows for Bluetooth keyboards. Which, hurrah, because trying to type crap in with the Apple remote really blows. And if you don't know about, the Apple remote app for iPhone or iPad, but even still, this would be much easier to do.
Yeah.
And possibly a little foreshadowing into the future on what we might expect on the Apple TV.
Maybe. I saw an article that said that one of the biggest competitors to Steam is not so much
the Apple TV.
Is the Apple TV. Now,
Yeah.
right now, you can't really do much. Well, you can't do anything with it.
Well,
It just
no,
streams
but
video,
it's the potential.
it has a potential.
That's there. Yeah.
Exactly. I have to say, I never really looked at what the Apple TV is actually capable of outside of streaming video.
Well, it has the same components as the iPhone and iPad. So therefore, it should be able to run the same apps, the same everything that the iPhone and an iPad can do. And if that's true, well, then that's, like they said, I mean, running Temple Run or anything else, what's that, Infinity Blade on your TV? That's an awesome game on the iPhone. Running that on your TV, that's a huge competitor to Steam.
Yeah, you just need a good you need a good controller. Like I have the iCade, where for those of you that don't know, an iCade is something where you take your iPad and you put it in, and it's got the iCade's got a Bluetooth arcade controller, and so you can play arcade games on the iPad, like classic arcade games like Asteroids and Space Invaders and things like that. So that's very nice. I would like to see. Oh, this is going to be huge. Like the next couple of years are really going to be exciting for.
Hopefully, I mean, the way the Apple stock is going out.
Well, okay, but now this is a little bit of a tangent. But did you see the ad that that Sony put out today that said February 13th, 2013 they're gonna announce the next generation of PlayStation?
No.
Yes.
Shoot.
Yes, PS4.
So wait, this February?
Yes.
Apple needs to get on it.
Well, see, this is the thing, is that you've got old school people like myself that,
because if that's true, then they're kind of behind Nintendo, but whatever, Nintendo's totally floundering.
Yeah, well, the Wii U isn't doing so well.
They're jumping ahead of Xbox's 720 and possibly jumping ahead. Maybe they're upping the date because of the Steam box that's coming.
Okay. We're getting into the gaming realm here, but this is Apple related, I promise you. The iPad has a lot of power behind it. We know that.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 3 has a lot of power behind it, and the Xbox.
But it's old.
But it's old. It is.
It's super old.
It is, but I never really felt that the PlayStation 3 was pushed to its potential like the PlayStation 2 was. Like for years, people thought you could never get HD out of a PlayStation 2. And then what happens towards the end of its lifetime? You can get 1080i Gran Turismo 3. And so there are surprises that can come out of these things. I don't know what's going to be in the PlayStation 4.
Not that I think the PS3 is going to die or anything. It'll probably live as long, or if not longer, like you said. If it's not being pushed to its potential now, then it might have a longer lifespan than the PS2 did, because that's just now kind of dying.
Well, they just stopped production on it a month or so ago. But what I'm saying is that Apple has the potential of putting, well, I mean, they have a $99 box that can do a lot. Now, without knowing the specs of what's going to come out.
Or pair that with the Leap motion controller. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're both tiny boxes. They cut down the size of an Xbox Kinect by like less than a fourth.
Mm-hmm. So there's there's like so much to talk about. The Xbox 720, or whatever it's going to be called. We don't know that it's actually going to be called the 720. Yeah. More than likely, that's going to be announced on or before E3 in May.
That's true. We still have E3, so a lot could be coming out. So Sony's probably just trying to jump the gun on that.
Now, are these devices going to come out towards the end of the year for Christmas? If they are, then there's the question of which one do you buy? Because buying two of them, you know as well as I do that these things are going to be expensive. They're going to be $400.
I never buy two consoles at the same time.
I bought the 360 before I bought the PlayStation, and I was happy about that because Halo. I know you don't like Halo, but I do. I have a feeling that what's going to happen is Sony really needs to get on social. Apple needs to get on social. Microsoft owns social as far as gaming goes, hands down. Yes. They just do.
Yes.
In fact, they have a game of the game that we mentioned a week or two ago. I can't remember the name of it. Word something that. I'll look it up.
The one.
Not where I was going to say Wordlandia. No, it's not Wordlandia. Hold on. It's called Wordament. Right.
Yes.
That is an Xbox Live networked game, and so they're expanding out past the Xbox 360, and so Sony's got to get their ass in gear. Apple just ditched Ping.
Yes.
So.
Because that was going places.
Well, yeah, it was dying. But I'm just saying that there is the potential for Apple and Sony to separately get into social in such a way that maybe Microsoft never did. Because Microsoft, I'm not going to give any secrets. No, like I've got secrets. Microsoft, in my opinion, as good as they did social, it was still... It trickled out past the Xbox 360. meaning that for example, there are some people that I see that post on Twitter, was it Raptor, I think is the name of the service, where they're constantly they're tweeting their achievements on the Xbox 360. Well, how come that's not going directly through Xbox Live? And so there's this here's another example. This is not a console related thing, but Rift is it Rift? Which is the game that allows you to tweet your screenshots of where you are?
Rift does, and I want to say there's another game that'll do it too.
So Microsoft needs to, if they don't move their ass, Sony and Apple have the potential of moving past them in social, and that could push consoles. And then this is where my ideas, my brain dump is going full circle. You've got a $99 device, which is going to beat the crap out of the $400 that Microsoft and Sony are probably going to charge for their devices. And so
let's hope,
we'll see what happens. Now, that's a long-winded explanation of where I think everything is going.
I totally agree. I would love to see they went to Microsoft for many reasons. Mm-hmm. But much like Apple, Sony has a lot to learn on social. So,
you and I are both PS3 users. In all the time that you and I have been playing games, we haven't done a single thing as far as social goes on the PlayStation. Whereas I play with God knows how many people on the Xbox 360 all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I have more trophies on the PSN. Network than I do on Xbox, but that doesn't mean anything. And nobody, like, anytime I'm on, it's either 1 or 0 other people in my network.
That's the problem.
Are on. And so it's like, what is it even? I mean, usually I'm just playing the game for myself. I'm not playing it to see who else is on. It's not an MMO experience on the console, but
there is some sort of social value in saying I unlocked this achievement, and the difference between one person seeing a bronze achievement on PSN and several thousand people seeing it on Xbox Live. That's the big difference. And that's where Apple and Sony really need to bump up their game as far as gaming goes and social. So,
where else Microsoft needs to bump up their game?
Where?
Releasing Office for the Mac.
Yes, they do.
That's weird. 2013 is out for everything but the Mac.
Are you surprised?
Not really, because we heard this late last year that this might be happening, and now it is. And so there you go. But I mean, I work in an office, I work in an enterprise
Yeah.
environment, and I am still kind of the go-to person for all Mac problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you more than half of those problems are related to Office. And Mac 2011 for Office, or Office 2011 for Mac rather, is super clunky and has just so many problems.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell they're just a completely different development team that's working on this
Yeah.
as opposed to the Windows version. That, you're thankful, you're grasping at every update that comes down. And so 2013, you hope, oh, please come fix this.
Yeah. I I haven't used Office in a long time. I bought Office for the Mac years ago, and mostly for Entourage, to a point, in case I wanted to have some compatible application if somebody needed something edited or whatever. Some friends came over. Oh, resumes were one thing years ago when I was looking for a job. And another thing is other people come over. They come over. The people that don't have computers, they come over to my house and I help them with their resumes. So of course you have to have Word.
Whew. LAN resume party, look out.
Right. With bell clips. And so now with Pages, all you have to do is just export in the Word format. Now, I've had some problems with that, though, especially with headers and footers.
Yeah.
Well, when you're working on a resume, sometimes there are headers and footers in it, and they just don't work right. But
No, yeah.
then again, sometimes documents between two different versions of Word don't work right. So
Yeah, they're totally different.
we're still waiting for the iPad version of Office. Do we care?
Not really. I mean, the iWork version, if it's going to be the same price and do functionally the same thing, then I really don't care. I'd much rather see 2013 for Mac before I see any version for iOS.
Yeah. I just don't see why people feel the need, even if you're in an office, like where I last worked, and I know there are a lot of people that are in the same situation. Nobody updates anything until they have to, and it's sometimes years
and
later.
You're not updating Docs on your phone. Like,
Yeah.
even now that we can do it with Google Docs on my phone,
Right.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's super nice that maybe there's going to be that one emergency where I have to. But I'm not doing that on my phone all the time.
Yeah.
If I see something that I need to update, I'm like, it can wait until I get to my desk,
Yeah. I agree. So I'm not hurt that Office 2013 is not out for the Mac, and
No. Well.
I haven't really
Hey,
cared.
but if you are hurt that your Retina Macbook Pro 15 or 13 didn't come with enough USBs or Ethernet ports, Kanex, maker of the sweet little powered display adapters, announced today at Macworld that they're going to be selling this new little pocket-sized toy called the DualRole.
Nice.
It's this little box. It gives you 3 USB ports and a Gigabit Ethernet port, and then one little, I think it's a Thunderbolt adapter to your MacBook. So it really expands what you have, and it's in a tiny little package, so it'll just throw, right into your bag. And
Very, very cool.
I think that's nice.
I'm looking at the pictures of this thing now. It's pretty cute. And if you need this stuff, then that's great.
Yeah, instead of, carrying around a fistful of adapters, you can just carry this one
A
thing.
fistful of adapters.
My laptop bag has at least 3 adapters in it at all times. One for Thunderbolt to DVI, Thunderbolt to VGA, and a USB to Ethernet, just in case.
I have been transferring old 8mm videos from like 20 so years ago onto the Mac, because you can't buy, well, you can, but it's hard to find an 8mm camcorder anymore that I can use these tapes with. And so I figured now's the time to transfer this stuff before the camera dies. And it has a FireWire port. It's one of those. It's not a real FireWire port. It's one of the mini ones.
Oh.
So I have a mini to FireWire adapter, and that works perfectly. I plug it into my old Mac Pro, and it works great. But I don't want to use the Mac Pro anymore. I'm trying to sell it. So what I did was I had an adapter. It's a 6-pin FireWire bridge, and it went from the mini FireWire to normal FireWire, and then I've got a 6-pin to 8-pin, 400 800. I'm sorry, 400 800.
You didn't lose
cable.
it?
No, I didn't lose it. The bridge.
No, I mean the connection over 2 adapters.
No, the bridge didn't work. I can't figure out a way. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's an adapter somewhere, but I got to figure out a way to get the mini FireWire to FireWire 800 so that I could plug it directly into the iMac. But I have it running on my Mac Pro here, which I still haven't gotten rid of, and it's working perfectly.
It makes for a nice end table, right?
It does, actually, because the mixer is sitting on top of it.
I knew it.
But yeah, this is part of the problem, and I'm actually going to get to the reason why I'm dealing with stuff like this in a little later in the show. But it's getting to the point now where some obsolete technology is almost impossible to use. A perfect example is years ago I bought it was a console controller adapter, but it had one of the old Mac ports on it, not even USB. That's how old this thing was. So you can plug in your PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64, and I think Dreamcast controller, and then you can use them to play games on your old Power Macs for Mac OS 8. That's how old this thing was. And there's not even a point in using it anymore. I just threw it out because, and this is going to what I'm going to talk about later, I can use this Xbox 360 controller. It's wired, but I can use this Xbox 360 controller on my Mac now.
Nice.
And I'll tell you why in a little bit.
All right. So.
This is the one that I was saying. Yes, the new low cost iPhone.
Yeah. So there's been these rumors going back and forth on whether or not Apple's going to make this low-cost, cheapy iPhone for other markets, China, maybe Africa. And who is it? Phil Schiller or somebody said, no, this totally is not going to happen. That's not what Apple does. And this new report out now says that, yeah, maybe it is what Apple does. And here's some pictures of it. This new low-cost iPhone really looks like what would happen if the iPhone 5 and maybe the iPhone 2G had a nice little baby.
2G. Yeah.
The kind of beveled rounded corners, it reminds me very much of a 2G.
Yeah. Maybe this will be good. It'll be good for kids. My kids have, as I said before, they've got older phones, but one of my kids' contract is up in March, and I don't want to have to buy her an iPhone 5. And yeah, I can buy her a 16 gig iPhone 4, but it depends on what the capabilities of this new one is. If it's low cost, she doesn't need LTE. But there may be some other features about it that are good for a kid. And so that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Although, a 16 gigabyte iPhone 4 is really nothing to sneeze at. When you're that young, who cares? It's not like you and I who need power in our devices. They don't. All they care about is whether or not they can take pictures on Instagram and watch videos of glue. I'm not going to mention that show.
Very important things.
Yeah, very important. Yeah, I haven't gotten them hooked on Game of Thrones yet. It's not going to be for a long time. All right,
so this is just a quick update. Apparently, Staples will now sell Apple things.
Yay!
So when you find yourself in Staples,
I'm surprised they haven't. Why haven't they sold this stuff before?
Well, really, selling computers and now tech support and all that is still relatively new to Staples.
My local Staples. Oh no, wait. Yeah, my local Staples sells printers and not computers though. They don't sell computers, but they sell printers and they sell. Yes, they do sell. Wait, do they sell hard drives? I know that they sell some computer peripherals. I would think that they would.
Depending on it is how office oriented they are.
Yeah. But then again, I don't go into Staples very often anyway. Wait, here's
exactly.
a funny story. Here's a funny story. When Mac OS 10, the official release was out, 10.0, not the public beta.
You got it at Staples?
I got it at Staples. It was the only store I had CompUSA's all over New Jersey at the time. They're gone now. CompUSA's, Best Buy, all those computer places, none of them had it. I called Staples on a whim, and they had it. And they only had one copy. And I was able to get it. I win. Oh, you mentioned this, so why don't you talk about this, the Surface Pro?
More than you win, I think. Microsoft Surface Pro, the 64 gigabyte version of the Surface Pro will apparently only have 23 gigabytes of usable storage. I only brought this up so we can all now point and laugh at how bloated their OS is.
I really don't know how much space their why am I blanking on it? Their Metro UI takes up, but I can't imagine it being that much because Windows 7 itself doesn't take up a lot of memory, not 23 gigabytes. And
no,
Windows 8
it doesn't. And just the Metro one, the Microsoft Surface, the one that's out now, it's not the Pro version, the one that's out now that it's just straight Metro that you can buy. I think we talked about this before. The reason they didn't release a 16 gigabyte version was because the Metro alone OS took up 12 gigabytes.
12 gig?
The low point is a 32 gigabyte point of storage, and then you go up from there. Because even just the bare mobile, version, the Metro version of their OS is so bloated. The Pro version, look at that's almost half the storage gone.
Wow. Okay. The way that I understood Metro is that you still have the underpinnings of the OS. You have your drivers and such.
You do to a certain extent. You don't have the I don't think you have the desktop version. So you can't switch between Metro and desktop.
Right.
And it doesn't have the to what I understand, and I could be totally wrong. I don't think it has the backwards compatibility where you can run XP applications in an emulator in it.
You can't. That's can we just point and laugh?
Yeah.
That'll be the end of it. Okay, moving on. What's Kickfolio?
I thought this was kind of cute. Kickfolio. I've never heard of this company before, but apparently they are now allowing you to embed your iOS apps in a web page via HTML5. So you can have a little demo without downloading the app.
That's pretty cool because
kind of like Android.
I'm a developer. You are now a developer. One of us.
I'm becoming more and more a code monkey in all things.
Casey's sending me text messages like, how do I do this in Xcode? You just do this. Like,
the last time I was in Xcode, it's changed so much. So I'm like, instead of Googling it, I can just ask Mike really quick.
Mm-hmm. So as a developer, I guess what you would have to do is you would have to create an ad hoc version. I'm not even looking at the article, but I bet you have to create an ad hoc version. And then you just put it up on a website and you can run it. And that's fine. An ad hoc version, for those of you that don't know, means it's not digitally signed by Apple with your ID. Let me take a look at this. Blah, blah, blah. Embed app demo. Yeah, embed app demos. On any web page using iframe. Okay. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
This is a great idea. Now, I don't know. It doesn't say here whether it's $50 a month.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
Yeah, the company slash the cheapest plan to $9. So this isn't free.
How big you are and how important this is, maybe to getting the word out.
Well, what I do is when I put out a beta version for people to test, I just throw it up on a web page with an HTML and it points to the IPA. So that's what I do. But now that I think about it, I just wonder how useful this actually would be. Because it's good for demos, but now I'm thinking about emulation and how slow it would be.
Well, wouldn't that? It would partially be on the server, but I would think a lot of that would lie in the client too.
Max Sources in the chat room says you can send your IPA to your team without the hassle. IPA share. Yeah, there is that. I haven't used it. I've heard of it, but I haven't actually used it. What I do is I build the IPA, and I send it to a server, and then I just make a slight modification to the HTML. So it's really not that big of a deal for me. Although I can see in some cases why this would be good. There was one, I can't remember the name of it. A friend of mine was using it about 2 years ago. It was one of the first ones that allowed you to use a service to send ad hoc builds to a team. And I don't think I even have that on this phone, although it's probably on my old iPhone 4. Star Trek Into Darkness app is out. Now, there's a reason why I'm mentioning it as opposed to using it as one of my apps of the week. It's good. All right, technologically, it's pretty interesting. What you have to do with this app, I'm just going to show it, even though you really can't see much on the camera. It's the poster that everybody has seen. You have a mission, and your mission is play the teaser, and it has software embedded in it so that it'll listen to the teaser and make sure that you're actually listening to the. It's like those apps. I don't remember the names of them. Let me see if I can pull them up real quick. It's those apps that listen to the TV show that you're watching. It's like SoundHound for video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. And so it says,
that's lame. Do you have to have the teaser trailer going then for the app to even do anything?
Yeah, so you play the teaser and then you hit the button on this thing and it listens to your speakers and it says, oh, and then you've unlocked this. And then the next thing is scan a picture of Captain Kirk. And
this is so lame. This is like, here's a list of homework for you to do before you see the movie. This is lame.
Yeah, it's a hide and seek game.
Go through all of our marketing materials that we have sent out.
Yeah.
Lame.
It's lame. But at the same time, I think that technologically the ability to the way that the scanner works, you know how these QR code scanners work where sometimes you have to actually take a picture and then other times you can just point the camera and it'll automatically grab it. It's doing that. It's automatically grabbing the picture. So as a matter of fact, there was one where I had to scan a picture of the Bad Robot logo. And so as I bring up the Bad Robot logo on my monitor and I'm moving the phone to focus on it, and before it even focused on the screen, it already knew it. So it was able to determine the Bad Robot logo out of focus and in motion. That was pretty impressive.
Kind of like Red Laser can do that, and some of the barcode scanning apps
can do that too. I really don't know what this is going to unlock, because right now what it does is it unlocks these screens. Kirk confers with Pike, and then you hit the share button. You can share with your Facebook friends or Twitter.
Unless it's unlocking screens of Kirk getting it on with Uhura, I don't care.
But you see, that's the thing, is that it's fun for 5 minutes from a technological point of view, because I'm like, wow, this is actually working. But then I'm thinking, the movie comes out in May. What is this thing going to do? Make me run around and play hide and seek with the internet for 4 months?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. Not really too excited about that. So it's interesting if you're into this sort of thing. There is one other thing that says visit Starfleet Academy, which is in San Francisco. So unless you go to San Francisco, I don't think anybody's going to be unlocking that.
Damn it! Now I gotta go to San Francisco. This is the worst homework ever.
Right. All right. Are we? Oh, you crossed out the thing.
Sorry, nothing happened. We're running long.
All right. So let's go to apps. What's your app?
Okay, so my app is a bit. I think I heard about it either on Twit This Week in Tech or MacBreak Weekly this week, but it's called Cycloramic.
Yes.
Cycloramic.
Cycloramic.
I hope that's how it's pronounced, and I'm gonna try and demo it since it's such witchcraft that's happening. It's for iOS only. for the iPhone 4, 4S, and 5, but I believe only the 5 can you actually do what I'm about to do here.
All right, here. I'm going to zoom into your video. Hold on.
See this? Okay. All right. So you stand it up on a flat surface.
Tilt your camera down a little more, if you can.
More?
Or move the phone towards the edge of the desk.
Okay.
Yeah, like there.
There? Okay. Because the iPhone 5 really doesn't... I mean, it's even more witchcraft because the iPhone 5 does not stand up very good on its own, as it is. Okay, so then you have to, like, tap it. And it will vibrate in a circle to make a panoramic photo and or video.
That's pretty cool.
It gets stuck.
All right, so for those of you that are listening, Kacey stood her iPhone 5 up vertically, and the vibration is turning the camera around to take a panoramic picture, which is probably more accurate than if you did it with your hand.
Until it gets stuck like this,
and now
you
it's stuck.
40 frames in the same spot.
Is it smart enough to realize that it's taking 40 frames in the same spot?
No. The other night when I did it for you and the guys in the Hangout, and I did a video. This is doing just a photo, so I don't know if it's going to cancel out those frames. The video did not. So like you're watching a video and it's, you know, going in a circle until it's stuck, and you would see like for a couple of seconds it's in the same place, and it seems to be just really stuck here.
It's stuck and it's making an obnoxious noise.
Oh, it's unhappy. I think because I'm helping it, it doesn't like it. All right. Now it's going. He's doing a little dance. Look at him. It's still unhappy though. It's like the lines on the screen are red and... Okay, I'm gonna stop it because it's not working.
All right.
I think it might be my desk. It's not, because my desk is kind of rough. It's not like a slick finished surface. When I did it the other night on the bedstand, it's more a kind of polished wood surface. Yeah. And so that was a little bit slicker, even though it still got stuck on it. This is a more rough surface, so that might have, maybe on glass it works sweet. I don't know. Okay. But anyways, that's called Cycloramic. It makes either a panoramic photo or a panoramic video in which you can save to your camera roll or upload somewhere. But it's crazy just in the fact that by vibration alone, like the phone will do it all by itself, like just witchcraft.
That's pretty cool. Mine this week is Fitocracy, which is an app that Eric Rice showed to me. It's essentially, I started just going to the gym recently again. And so this is a way for you to gamify going to the gym and exercising. So you get achievements and stuff. It's pretty cool. I just started working with it, so I don't know the nitty gritty of the app, but it's pretty cool. I like it. If you're into working out and you're a gamer, give it a shot.
I'm totally gonna check this out because I have in the last couple of weeks started getting back into it as well. I ran today and I did spin yesterday and I ran on Tuesday and all last week. So I'm way into the gamifications, as you know. So I'm totally gonna check this out. I'm excited.
All right, Kacey. She scratched out what I was going to talk about this week with the 360 controller. So we'll do that next week.
Next week for sure.
Next week for sure. I think that's it now. Right?
Yes, for our 1 year anniversary. I am Kacey Kaso, KACEY on Twitter. That old man with the belt clips over there is Star Mike on Twitter. We are at Infinite Loop TV on Twitter, the Infinite Loop Show at gmail.com. If you have any comments or questions or concerns or new topics or news stories you think we should cover, please email us and we'll read them on the air. If you have any reviews for us, we're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher, we're on wherever you get podcasts. Where are we? Google Plus, we're on the Googles, we're on Facebook, the Infinite Loop Show, and I think that's about it.
All right. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll talk to you later.
Bye. I like Macs.
For a whole year.
More than that.